Welcome to The Core. If you're interested in your health, you're in the right place. Stick around for fad-free, no BS tips and education to help you reach your goals. I'm Aline, a certified fat loss and nutrition coach by Precision Nutrition and CHFI.
And I am Shannon, a NASM certified personal trainer.
In today's episode, we're talking about how to stop giving up. We've all been there. You start a diet, a workout program, or any good habit, and a little bit down the road, you just drop it. Today is about breaking that cycle and following through with your promises to yourself.
Yes.
So in this episode, we really want you, if you haven't heard our first episode, which is about goal setting, we would love for you to take a listen to that after this episode, because it's really going to set you up for success in reaching these goals. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about today. We're going to try to keep it short. We like to keep it short and sweet, but we can sometimes talk a lot. So here we go. So we found that most of the time when it comes to health, and we're going to be more specific today and talking more about health, weight loss, weight maintenance, workouts, we're going to stay in this lane today. And what we found is that most of the time when people give up, it's because something was too hard, or it was something that wasn't really doable for the rest of your life. And when we think of health, we kind of have to put it into that perspective that if you're not willing to do this for life, it might not be the best strategy for you. I'd like to point out, and in the description, we will cite this article. It's called the 85% rule for optimal learning. It's a very interesting article that was published that found that ideally when you want to learn something new, and all of these habits, when you're trying to lose fat or when you're trying to stick to a workout program, create the workout habit, any habit is a learning process. Reaching any goal is a learning process. And what this study found was that you have to learn well and to follow through, you need to be able to get things right 85% of the time, and only get it wrong or make mistakes 15% of the time. What they conclude, what this means is that if you are wrong, or if it's too hard, if it's too difficult, if it's too complicated, most of the time you are going to give up. But if you have that sweet spot where 85% of the time, 85% of the time, you're getting it right, you're doing well, you're being successful, that sets you up for learning and growth. And what we see all the time in our practices with our clients, what we see all the time is people trying to do like this massive thing. It's people will say like, oh, I want to lose weight. And then they decide to massively overhaul their diet and go from a classic Western diet of lots of highly palatable processed foods, going from lots of carb-based foods. And they say, you know, starting tomorrow, I'm only going to eat plants, or I'm only going to eat lean, whatever, or whatever term that you want to go into, whatever restriction diet, you can pick any one of them. And you go like from nothing to everything. The reason why people give up, and I see this all the time, people will give me a list. Well, I tried this diet and I tried that medication and I tried that other diet, and they all worked until I got tired of them. And the reason is because it was too hard. Staying in that path took more than 15% effort. It's just, you just don't have the stamina to keep that up for good. So whatever you choose in whatever health area you want to do, you want it to be 15% hard, 85% doable. Not necessarily easy, but doable, meaning that you can do it successfully. It's going to take some effort, but you can do it successfully.
Yes, I think we see that all the time with both exercise and nutrition. These people make drastic changes overnight. You know, for example, would be like your New Year's resolutions, but to make decisions that you know that you can maintain. So I know that we chatted about too in our previous episode, eat a salad a day. I think that's great advice because think of how many veggies you can add into your diet just
Yep.
on that one salad alone. But if you know that you totally hate salads, you hate smoothies, don't let every meal be a salad and smoothie. Um,
Yes.
just pick different food choices that are going to benefit you and help you achieve your goal and that you can maintain for life. If you want to become a runner, but you hate running, that might not be the goal to set, and that's okay. You know, choose
If you hate
activities that
running, maybe you don't want to become a runner.
and I see this a lot. I hear this a lot, especially in my group fitness classes, because I instruct a lot of middle-aged ladies and they're like, oh, I know I should run. It's really, really good for me, but I hate it. I hate it so much. It's like, then don't do it.
Mhm.
You come to these classes and you're strength training and you're getting your yoga in and you're doing really, really good because you love those activities. Like continue to increase and add in activities that you love and that you can maintain for life. And of course, as we age, these things are going to change and that's okay. And that's the way that we are. We're always evolving. But if you don't like something, then we're all adults. That's the great
There
thing
are
about
so
being an
many
adult is you don't have
options.
to do it.
That's the thing. There are so many options. So people will say like, "Oh, I have to run." You really, really don't.
Yeah.
Like there are so many cardiovascular options. And even I mean the research, and we keep saying this over and over, but the research on walking is so extensive to where like walking at a brisk pace, meaning that you're not strolling, you're not a tourist, you're not taking in the sights, you're walking with a purpose. That is more than enough to get you to cardiovascular health. Sure, you like to jog, you like to run, right? Run, great, go for it. You like to bike, you like, right? But it's like there are so many options. Why do we only have to do one, right? Like
Exactly. Yeah.
there are so many foods that you will never catch me eating beets ever. There's
Okay.
no amount of money you can pay me to eat beets. There are other things that I can eat. I don't have to eat beets.
Yes.
So, yeah, there's lots of options. You don't have to make it harder on yourself.
No, and that is the whole thing with a healthier lifestyle is it is not meant to be difficult. It's something that you should thoroughly enjoy because it makes you feel better. You are
Yes.
creating goals that you can maintain and you can just live more efficiently. You can move throughout your day more efficiently because of that healthier lifestyle. And I think by choosing foods and exercises that you enjoy is only a waterfall effect to open up other doors to find new things that you'll also enjoy.
Yes, absolutely. And with food, for example, lots of people will say, "Oh, but I don't like veggies, I don't like fruit." Listen, I was the person that when I started my journey, I literally ate lettuce and I would eat broccoli and cauliflower if there was a lot of cheese.
Mhm.
That was it. Like
Yeah.
literally fruit, I ate apples and sometimes bananas. You can get used to other things, and there's nothing wrong with just starting with the two or three things that you enjoy and building on that. And it's like exercise. Maybe you say that you dread exercise. It's a chore for you. Okay, walk, pace around your
Mhm.
house, and eventually you're going to start seeing the benefits and you might be interested in something else. And also, like we talk a lot about strength training and running and walking and stuff like that. And again, we 150% recommend that every single human strength train. For most people, it is super important. That being said, you can do martial arts, you can do Pilates, you
Mhm.
can do swimming, you can do gymnastics, you can do, hey, my kids do parkour, that French street thing that you jump
Oh,
off. There are parkour gyms and they do parkour.
nice.
So there's all sorts of things that you can do. You can do archery. I know a kid that
Yeah.
he wins archery competition. Great. Like you can practice any sort of movement and that is going to be beneficial, right? And like you said, it can be a gateway to lead you to other things. But the
Yes.
important thing is it can't be too difficult. And I think of this like with exercise, it's super easy to see as well. You're doing a workout, and sometimes people think that the workout is only good if they're super sore. The thing is, if you're always super sore, you're going to stop working out because you're making it too hard on yourself. You want to
Right.
push yourself, but not to the point that you can't get a workout in 2 days later. You're going beyond those 15%. It just has to be 15% hard, 85% success, so that you have room for progress.
Yes, I agree. And two, if you're sore every single day from your workouts, that's probably an inkling that you're overtraining. You're not
Yes.
giving your muscles enough time to recover, and probably your mind mentally probably not enough time to recover. So soreness is good. We love muscle soreness, especially when it's in a targeted area. But if you are consistently sore day in and day out, you need to take more recovery or deload. We have our mesocycles that we focus on as we go through training, and we have a deloading cycle.
And at some point your body really becomes more efficient, right? And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but from all I know, a lot of soreness comes from targeting a different muscle that you're used to targeting, from a different kind of exercise, because you can consistently train and your body will get better, your muscles will get stronger. You're not going to be sore forever. Soreness is not an indicator of a good workout, right? Like there are
Right.
other things that are more indicative of having a good workout or not. And another thing that's important to not give up is changing your mindset from a specific goal to a journey. We talk about this in goal setting, where it's not about a finish line, it's about the process, it's about the journey. Because when you can look at these things and say, okay, I'm doing the right things, you start to understand that your body will catch up. And this is
Yep.
super important. Your body will always, 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 always reflect what you do with it and what you put into it. And that's why we're so passionate about talking to you about fitness and nutrition, because how you move your body and what you put into your body is going to show up in your clothes. When you look in the mirror, like your body will catch up. And lots of my clients freak out with the scale because they'll have like Easter or Christmas or a birthday party, and then they totally freak out the next day because they're like 2 pounds up. Well, it's not 2 pounds of fat, it's 2 pounds of food that you're still digesting. It's a more carbohydrate intake, which stores more water. And if you only have one thing that matters to you, so if, for instance, in this example, the number on the scale is what matters to you, and if that number fluctuates, which is absolutely normal, it's what it does, it's the human body, it's not linear, your weight is not going to go down every day. But one fluctuation is enough to make you give up because your focus is in the wrong spot.
Yes.
As opposed to when my clients finally learn that the number on the scale is certainly a measurement, it doesn't tell the whole story. And when you start looking at your health as a journey and as a process, and like you're doing the right things, your body is going to catch up. It's easier to not give up because you make different choices. You're not going to choose the crazy diet. You're not going to choose the shake. You're not going to choose the over the counter pill. You're not going to choose the workout that, is quote unquote going to give you 6-pack abs in a week.
Oh, I
Right?
get a kick out
Those
of
are
those. If
great.
I could only get six-pack abs in the 3 minutes that that magazine cover is telling me,
Right? Like, yeah, just
we'd
do
all
this
be in better
three
shape.
minute standing ab workout and get a
Yeah.
6-pack in a week. Sure.
Yes.
Like
Oh, if
buns of
only.
steel in 10 minutes a day for 30 days.
Do
Yeah,
this
that's
one movement every day for 30 minutes and you will have a great ass.
exactly, like, come on. So when you stop thinking only of that one thing and you start looking at it as a journey, as a process, as a lifestyle, you start filtering these ridiculous
Mhm. Mhm.
things and you start letting go of them and making better choices that you know you can be 85% successful at, and you're giving yourself margin to grow and to get better.
Yes, I love that. I mean, man, am I one to really feed into that stuff when I was younger, especially in
Oh,
my high school years. And I think
oh yeah.
maybe we all have to go through that chapter in our life of just all of the magazines have the answers, and these crazy diets is
Yes.
exactly how I'm going to lose all that weight and keep it off, and I'm just going to be extremely happy for the rest of my life. And it's like,
And next month it's going to be a different one, right?
oh,
Because,
for sure. But,
you know,
I think we have to go through that chapter
yeah.
and filter this unnecessary information out of our lives and focus on the reality of it and what actually works. And,
Yes.
and we've mentioned it before, and that's exactly why we're here. And this kind of brings me into my next step, which is plateaus. I mean, we get plateaus in weight loss and nutrition
Yeah.
and exercise. And it's not a matter of if a plateau hits, but when a plateau hits, because we're probably all going to hit a plateau in our journey at one point or another. And honestly, we can think of that as a positive spin
Yes, that's what I was
because,
going to say.
yep, I mean, you can view this as just the bigger picture. I've gotten to a specific point where I've worked hard and now I've hit a plateau. Now I need some more trial and errors in my diet or in my routine to try and figure out now what is my next step to either continue to lose weight or to run that extra mile a little bit faster. You can think of this as maintenance. You can think of it as an
Yes.
opportunity, a way to test the program that you're already on, but know that plateaus will happen and they're important to happen. And this does actually lead to long-term success.
Exactly, because we talk about plateaus exactly like such a bad thing. And honestly, I don't understand why this industry is so obsessed with change instead of appreciating maintenance. The catchy, fancy way or technical way of saying this is metabolic adaptation. When you start changing your habits, your metabolism is going to adapt, and that is a good thing. Now, lots of times that adaptation is a negative thing because our body will adapt to our negative habits by gaining weight, by being slower, by burning fewer calories, whatever it is. But when we improve our habits, our body will change, our metabolism will change, and it will improve. We will become more efficient. When our body does that, we hit plateaus because our body said, okay, I'm understanding this new thing that you're doing. So you lose a certain amount of weight and your body says, okay, I understood it. I'm happy here. And again, this is a subject for another day, but it's important to appreciate the plateaus and stay there a little bit, learn to live in that new weight and that new fitness level, and then reach another goal instead of just trying to like sprint to whatever end you're imagining. Like, appreciate that these breaks are important because your body is learning to be this body that you have reached. Like, these are it's almost like pit stops, right? Like you go a
Yeah.
certain
Oh,
length
yeah.
and then, okay, you get here, you need to fuel up again, you need to learn some
Yep.
things, you need to change some things, and then keep going. And if you give up every time you hit this beautiful plateau, I don't know, think of a road trip. Let's make this beautiful. Okay. Think of a
Yeah.
road trip. Like, you're traveling. Sure, you have this gorgeous destination you want to reach, but you're going down the road and you stop to appreciate the view somewhere. You stop to go to the restaurant, you stop to see a touristic spot, and you have these stops, and they're all part of the process to reach your destination. So
Yes.
if you give up and you drive home after that first view that you stopped at, you're missing getting to your destination. So yes, plateaus are important and good and necessary, and we have to stop being scared of them and angry at them.
Yeah, I agree. Just reframe it as an accomplishment, and it is a necessary step in your journey, and it can be thought of as that deloading phase as well,
Yeah.
and just reconnecting with your body, what you've done and what you need to do next. So I think that's a really good way of putting it, is a road trip.
You're following this path and you're going to get somewhere. So, in summary, if you want to stop giving up, you have to stop doing things that you're not willing to do for life. You have to stop doing things that are way too hard, and you have to start doing things that you can be successful, learn, see change, grow, improve, reach for new goals, and remember that your body will always catch up with
Mhm.
whatever habits you have.
Yes, we are such adaptive creatures. It's unbelievable. And to enjoy this journey because it's so beautiful. I mean, you're living and breathing such a wonderful experience, even on those days where you're feeling like you have a setback or it's frustrating,
Yep,
because it's going to make you appreciate those good days that much more.
absolutely. Thank you for joining us for this episode. We would greatly appreciate it if you left a review wherever you listen to this podcast. Remember that you can join our email list at practicethecore.com for more tips on how to improve your health. We are Aline and Shannon, and this is The Core.